Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. I am in the studio with my main man, Steve and Chad. What's up, big dog?
My man, Shelton. How are you today?
How do I look is the main question.
It looks like you lost a bet. A few weeks ago, you and I went toe-to-toe on who could pick the most picks out of the 2022 NFL Draft. And, man, I snuck you on pick 14, a safety out of Notre Dame. And here you are today, fulfilling your obligation, wearing makeup on the cast. You look great, though. I'm not going to lie. This is amazing.
Yeah, so look, we did a thing where, like you said, whoever got the most picks right wins. And I got Gardner right, the third pick, and I was talking so much smack. And we said, hey, whoever gets there's a tie, it's whoever got the latest pick right. And we both had the same 15th pick, and like you said, you had 14 right, and it was devastation, if I had to say the least. Like it seemed like it came out of just left field. Like nobody saw it happening. So I had this here for people that are new, that are stopping by, that didn't see the bet, that didn't know what was going on. Ricky said it looks normal to me. I lost the bet, so they don't just walk in and be like, what's this clown show that we're walking into?
Show that I walk into. This is not normal. This is a little friendly wager that Shelton and I put out there. So you're not in the wrong place. Welcome to High Top Sports. We talk about sports and we do it normally. Shelton's just paying his marker right now.
Just look a little cuter today. That's all. Real quick, let's dive into two things before we get into the main topic. So we got a jam-packed show. We have so many cool things to go over. I'm really excited about there. It was a fun week. It was a busy week. In a sense of just a lot of just gossip, I would say, and drama with the greatest horse race of all time. A few college guys came out. We had some commits to Florida. So it's been a fun week, I would say, and a lot of cool things we got to talk about. But real quick, I put a poll in the comments. Who was better, Percy Harvin or Kyle Pitts? Now, I was trying to find like something that would spice up the juice a little bit, kind of like toe the water. And right now it's 78 to Percy and 22 to Kyle, which I'm happy to see. I'm glad now it's 80 to 20. I'm glad to see we've got some level-headed people in here, because I was wondering to see like who's going to really pick Kyle Pitts over P. Harvin. Let's see where the Gator fan lies, the youth of it, right? Because I feel like the newer Gator fans will probably be sliding towards the Kyle Pitts era, but they went the right direction. So good for them. Happy to see that. So, Steve, there's a few people I've been talking about the show. I wanted to bring it up with you because I feel like it's getting a lot of flack, but it's been fun to see a little bit about it. It's this TV show called Winning Time. Okay, Ricky is sick of hearing about it, but it's by far, in my opinion, one of the greatest TV shows of all time. It's 10 episodes. It's about the 1979 Lakers when Jerry Buss buys the Lakers and Magic Johnson gets drafted. But it's just one of these like incredible shows that shows how Jerry Buss, when the entire world is literally against him, he bought this NBA team when the NBA was not what it is today, and he made the NBA what it is today, right? These dancers, he brought Paula Abdul on, made them become from cheerleaders to dancers, right? Like all these things, it was his motivation and his drive that brought us here today. Anybody who wants something to get fired up about, go watch it, because it is absolutely incredible. It'll make you run through a wall. Jerry Buss, off just a 10 episode, is one of my heroes now. Like they need to write a book about this guy, because just the balls of steel this guy's have is just absolutely incredible. You got to watch it, Steve. You got to dial it in.
You know what? Some of these 30 for 30s and the different episodes that they've done about Jordan and things like that. Some of them I've watched, some of them I've stayed away from. But look, if you're giving your testimony here on the cast that this is one to watch, I can definitely dive in.
Look, it's an absolute banger. The Last Dance with Jordan was obviously great, but it had Jordan's feel, right? So Magic, the Kareems, Jeannie Buss, they're not huge fans of the show because they didn't have a say in this. So it's told from other people's perspective. So obviously it's a little dramatized, but I think that's good. It makes good TV. But now also too, you can't have somebody that is trying, hey, that can't be said, that can't be this, etc. They get to kind of say, hey, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rock and roll with it. So I love it. Let's say hey to the people, and then we'll get rolling, Stevie.
Let's do it.
Jay West says, "What's up, guys? What is up, my man? Christopher Young, let's go, baby." Let's go.
That's why we're here, Chris.
Muddy's here. Percy Harvin ran over Jared Mayo, juked out Eric Berry, outran Stephen Gilmore on an 80-yard touchdown, and single-handedly led our offense against Oklahoma. Needs to be a statue about him. Fired up. Ryan says,
He
I've
also
watched.
had migraines and stole from people. And so, look,
He
it's
didn't steal. He didn't steal. And Ryan says he's watched
Only
his.
your hearts.
Only our hearts. All right, guys, let's get right into it. All right, we had a busy week from a recruiting standpoint, from a commitment standpoint. Multiple 4-star, 5-star recruits. Let me get into these names real quick. I've got them pulled up here before we dive into it. So the first one being Sharif Denson. Okay, he is I want to say a 4-star, 4-star cornerback. He is down to his top 5, and I'm not gonna have you take a list this time, Steve, because I think last time we got a little wobbly on that one. But his top 5 right now are Ohio State, FSU. There we go. We got your hat on the table, big dog. Florida.
That's all we're looking for here.
Florida, South Carolina, Texas A&M. Now, he is actually from Jacksonville, so I think Florida State probably have the best options just based on where he's located. I mean, I don't know. There isn't too much on him yet. There is something to be said here because last time I was comparing how many Alabama hats are on the table with these kids too. Right, that shows kind of these talent in these kids. Now, Texas A&M is on this table and Ohio State. Again, Florida State's on this table, so it's kind of a little like how good is he? But it's good to see that. The next one we have is a 4-star defensive lineman, Kelby Collins. Now, his top 5 are Georgia, Bama, Florida, Oklahoma, and South Carolina. So that is one hell of a table to be on. That is a juiced up table. So liking that, if we could pull that off, that would be huge for Florida. The next we have Bryce Lovett, 3-star out of Florida. He is down to Florida, Mizzou, Iowa State, and Louisville. He's also located in Florida, Rockledge. Out of these 3 schools, Florida being the only Florida school that's in his top 4, I think this is kind of a shoo-in for us, an offensive tackle. Again, I could be overshoot my shot here, but out of those 4 schools, I think Florida is, to me, I mean, I'm not being biased here, but I am a little bit.
Well, look, I mean, kids from a home state like to stay at home for the most part. I mean, it's rare that you find a kid that wants to go 5 states away, where his parents, for the most part, are going to have to be somewhat responsible to getting themselves out to
Sure.
a game. But look, I mean, yeah, having this is what made Florida State, Miami, even UCF had talent for a while. Even out in California, Texas, these kids don't want to leave their state because there's so much talent, and their families can come see them. Like that's why these 3 states are always the top 3 in recruiting.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a shoe-in. And this last one is Tyler Williams. He is a 4-star wide receiver. He's down to his top 10. He's got Bama, Clemson, Florida, Georgia, LSU, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, Syracuse, USC, and USF. Hey, congrats to USF and Syracuse for getting on the boards, boys.
Well done.
I don't know what you're doing, but let us know, because how you got into that mix is beyond me. But you're there. You're there. So maybe it's just these are the 10 that said yes, and I'm putting them up here. I don't know. But look, if we could pull him off, because wide receiver has always been kind of a need for Florida, that would be an awesome pull for us. We did pull a huge wide receiver this weekend. Creed Whittemore, I believe is how you say his name. Could be saying the last name wrong. I'm pretty sure that I'm right. 4-star wide receiver, was a quarterback in high school. But again, we've talked about this before. These kids transition fairly well. If they're an athlete, it just is what it is. So I'm not too concerned about it. But he's coming over. Then we got Kanijah Harris out of IMG. Now, we reached out to Harris. We had a little bit of conversation on the IG. He said he was going to come on. I think maybe he had some cold feet. Maybe he had some things going on where he wasn't able to get on, unfortunately. My little brother who goes to IMG actually had to take Spanish with him. So he had Spanish with him yesterday. I was like, hey, if you talk to him, let him know we'll see where his head's at. So he was.
Tweet him in Spanish. See if that does anything. Like now, look, he can work on his education and get on the cast at the same time. Like, let's just spice things up here a little bit.
Trying to get him on here, trying to see what's happening. But he didn't say anything. Maybe next week we'll keep it connected with him. So we'll see what we can do.
You look pretty tonight, by the way.
Thank you, guys. You guys like the makeup. The ones that are finally here. Mom's here. She's here. She's fine. Just hopped on. Daniel's back at it again.
Oh,
Tyler Keller's here. Chomp chomp. What's up, Tyler? Welcome to the show, my man.
Oh, muddy waters with the Tebow sucked. Rainey and Dimps were no shows. Harvin had 4+ 30-yard plays and a touchdown. Took all the attention away from the safeties for Hernandez, Murphy, and Cooper to work.
So
Ooh.
it's funny. I was having this conversation the other day because when Tebow was at Florida, I've been adamant. I was never a huge Tebow fan. I was a Harvin guy. Like, that was my guy. When Tebow was at Florida, I would get frustrated because, again, a lot of bandwagoners came on because of Tebow and because Tebow got all the love. And I was like, that's a talented team outside of Tebow, and it's like it's just a Tebow show. So I remember as a kid, like, not being like the biggest fan of Tebow. Obviously, I'm older now. I can respect it. I mean, I don't hate Tebow, right? That was never the case. It was just I loved Harvin, and I was like, Harvin's not getting any love because it's the Tebow show. I mean, look, Tebow's the man. Don't get it twisted. But it's kind of funny that Muddy says that. That might rile up Ryan a little bit. He might be driving to Muddy's house as we speak because he hasn't responded. Kerry Johnson says, "What up? What's up, big dog? How you doing, man?" Next thing, we're gonna get into a little AR-15 talk. Okay, this is fun because I'm gonna take a minute here. Okay, we got shitted on about 2 months ago when we made a video about AR-15 and him being in the top 5 for Heisman. The comments were roasting me, saying we don't know what we're talking about, we don't know what we're doing, et cetera, right? Again, this was Vegas. This wasn't us claiming anything, but that was Vegas, and I was like, they're not crazy because with college, it could have anybody could win it at any time. It's just who's going to come out and show out, right? Like a Jameis Winston, right? Like a Johnny Manziel, like a Baker, right? I'm not going to put Joey Burrow into that category, although you could. But he had a decent year the year before that. So these guys kind of had like their 1 year. And Baker so-and-so, but these guys kind of just came out of nowhere, right? We weren't expecting them to be that, and they were just ended up being the shiz and won the Heisman, right? So now the reason why I bring that up is because Mel Kiper has Anthony Richardson going in the top 10 of his NFL draft next year. So if he's putting him in the top 10, right, for the draft, he's going to have to be a top 10 valuable player, right? He's going to have some stock in him to be in that conversation, which brings back the conversation of look, him winning the Heisman is not as crazy as I think when we first talked about it is. I think it's a very reasonable possibility. Now, again, we're a heavy Gator show. There's bias, sure, 110%. But Mel Kiper came out and said he had him in his top 10, possibly top 6, possibly top 5. Okay, this wasn't Mel Kiper saying that, but I did see on someone else that being the 6th round draft pick for next year. Okay, I love it, but I hate it at the same time. Before I go into that, Steve, what's your take on it?
Look, I mean, talent alone, I think, is amazing. I would say that talent alone at the quarterback position right now, coming out of college football, if he comes out next year. Talent alone, I think he's got the ability to do some amazing things. Health is questionable. He hasn't been able to stay healthy, and he's an athletic quarterback that if he can't make the right reads, if he can't make the right audibles, if he can't get the offense in the right position, his first instinct is to go legs. And look, it may change this year. I'm not saying it won't, but what we've seen so far is he falls back to quickly relying on his athletic ability, and that's not going to get you so far. You can ask Lamar Jackson, whether or not that's going to be consistent. Like Lamar Jackson was an MVP. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he didn't have a good year, but to be consistent with that type of play style is difficult. And look, coming out talent, great. Health, you got to worry about, and if he's not able to understand an offense, read a defense, audible properly, then he's going to rely on his feet. And that's just going to put him in a lot of scenarios where he's just taking more abuse than you really want your quarterback to take. And so, look, I think right now he could be top 15. And, we'll talk about it here in a little bit about what Florida's up against going into, the early part of next year with the schedule. But look, right now, if you're just looking at talent alone and the limited body of work that you have, there's no reason to think that you can't believe that this guy's a top 15 talent.
Sorry, I'm sorry to laugh, but I looked down, I looked at my makeup. I'm sitting here with like a look of intensity. I'm just kind of making.
Yeah, just intense as hell with blush. I mean,
I can't help
eyeshadow.
it. I lost. I
Can you
lost a
tell the
bet.
folks out there what you're what? Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
lost
you
it
lost
for
a
the
bet.
for the people
What
that
do
are
you
just
wear?
joining. I lost a
Do you have
bet
a
to
foundation?
Steve. I
Yeah,
lost a
do
bet
you
to
have a
Steve
foundation?
2 weeks ago on the cast. I lost a draft bet. But real quick, before we get in, I don't want to get too carried away really quick. So, look, I agree. I think the healthy part is the biggest thing. I think he's a big risk of getting injured every time he runs out, right? Because he is so big. He's a big target to get laid out, right? I mean, he's going to be getting swarmed. Now, you said, look, is he going to always rely on his running? Manziel heavily relied on running and being able to escape and get out of things and make plays on his feet. That, to me, is what won him the Heisman. I think he got drafted way too high. The Browns made a horrible decision, obviously, just from sheer size alone. But look,
transition wise, that doesn't work.
Sure. I think AR winning the Heisman is not as crazy as when we first posted the video. It wasn't crazy, and I think even more now. I'm excited. It's been a little bit while, but it'll be exciting to see another 15 hoist up a Heisman. And with his draft stock being that high, I think that more people are believing that and feeling that to be the case as well too. Now, a lot has to happen. There's a lot of stiff competition we've got to go through, and we're going to get into that a little bit later on the schedule and who we're playing and all that good stuff. We've got a good thing going on. But look, I'm thinking top 10. If everything goes well. But again, I'm being optimistic for sure. This leads me to our next topic, which has been this guy has been hot lately. I mean, the draft stock on this guy is through the roof. If you've got $1, put it on Arch, okay? Now, we talked about him a little bit. The reason why I want to bring him back up is because obviously it's a fun topic. It's just exciting to see. This guy is doing a great job of the publicity and promoting himself. It's not really him. I think it's just his camp and then just us. It's a Manning, right? So, I mean, it pushes itself for one. But AR is more likely going to be leaving Florida, right? And we talked last week of where is he going to go and does Florida have a chance? And I was kind of leaning probably not so. But when I took a step back and I've been watching some things, reading some things, with AR leaving, and remember we talked about what are the reasons why Arch would go anywhere? Right? The money we considered a wash. So it's going to be, can I play? Right? Are you going to be able to develop me to be a great player too? Right? And what was the third major one? The legacy. Okay? Right? Those are the three main things that we felt that if you're Arch, that's what you want to go do. Okay? AR leaves, it's his for the taking because Jack has made a little bit of a push and he came out. I read an article today where he's like, look, I still believe he can be the guy. Love the attitude kid. Anyways, so to me, it's like if Arch comes in, that's Arch, that's Arch's, right? The legacy, duh. I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? And then if Billy proves to do really well for Arch, well, then you got the three things that we talked about. So it's not as crazy, I think, as it once was to believe. Now, we had Connor on here. He said he was a little overrated. We've talked about is he overrated, and I still think he might be a little bit. Again, it's hard to tell with these kids. So it's kind of a mute conversation to me. It's a mute point with, hey, are they overrated or they're not overrated? Because it's too soon to really tell. The kid's got Manning blood, so we'll always be excited for that. But he's set to visit the Swamp in June. And that to me is huge, right? That's later on in the recruiting stages, which is good. I think that's a little bit, right? We got him later on. I think we had him early. It almost was like, I'm just going to go just say, hey, and I'm out. But if we're getting closer to signing day, which is still not very close, but it's closer, right? Then I think the original visiting day, I think was looking more of March and April, is huge. Now, I don't know how much Billy and all those guys, I know we've been visiting him a little bit. But look, I think Arch being a Gator, it's not as crazy as I think as it once was. I think the Manning might have a little bit to say about that, the Peyton, but what do you got, Steve?
Look, I mean, if there's one kid that needs the money less going into recruiting than anybody else named Johnny Manziel, it's Arch Manning. So money is a scratch. Johnny Manziel came from oil money, and I want to say he was richer. His family was richer than the Manning family going in. So money is a scratch. To your point, legacy. I mean, man, legacy going into Florida, being a legacy quarterback, you're asking to be the next Spurrier, Werfel, Tebow.
Sure.
Like if you look at his family, his dad went to Ole Miss. There was no legacy quarterback. His uncle went to Tennessee. There really was no legacy quarterback there.
You're saying before Peyton, right?
Before Peyton, right?
Sure.
So if you want to be a legacy quarterback, maybe Florida's not the spot. Texas,
okay. Texas
seems it. It's got the money, it's got the notoriety, it's got the ability to continue.
Because they had, but Texas had Colt McCoy and Vince Young.
That's not. You're not talking legacy. You're talking about individual years of performance.
Those two guys, I feel like those two guys for Texas were, in my opinion, were a legacy for Texas. I mean,
Colt McCoy didn't win a national championship.
Yeah,
Vince Young didn't fade it out in a heartbeat. I don't know. I just feel like that's a place where you could literally go and be look, think about this. If you flip the script, go to Oklahoma, try to be a legacy quarterback at Oklahoma with, Bradford, with Kyler Murray, with Baker Mayfield, right? And those are all relatively new
But Baker
guys.
didn't win a title either. And you just considered him.
Baker Mayfield didn't win a title? I'd be surprised. Well, you could be right, but I guess it's just the name legacy
that's what I'm saying. Like if Vince Young and Colt McCoy have a name legacy. Like if you think like they're comparing Quinn Ewers to Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy is a legacy in Texas. That's what I'm saying. But I like your argument. I think I agree with what you're saying. LSU has Joe Burrow. So I mean, but Texas, I would say out of the ones we just mentioned, has the weakest of legacies. Honestly, Georgia, besides outside of Matt Stafford, Betson is not a legacy yet. Stetson, no. But
you stat, and then that's about it.
That's about all you got right there.
Yep.
So
hey, look, there's possibility there. Again, look, this kid, like I said,
but what I mean by legacy though, it's his legacy, right? I feel like I guess no. I don't know. I think you're right. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying on this one. I think like you're right because there is a bunch.
It's difficult. It's a little. Look, we're not going to know until the kid makes the decision. But I mean, we're just talking about if this kid wants to go in and just put a brand on the school. Which school is it?
Can he make
branded?
His? That's okay. So if it's hey, can I go and make this my school? Like when you think of Tennessee, you think of Peyton Manning. When you think of Florida, you think of Spurrier and Tebow. The recents more Tebow, right?
Powerful, yeah. Sure.
Right. You think of Florida State, you think of Jameis.
Yeah, Charlie Ward.
But you could think of also to me honestly, Dalvin Cook, like that. They got a few more guys I feel like have kind of set the tone a little bit. Yeah. LSU, Joey Burrow right now for sure, but
hot. Yeah,
it's too hot. Oklahoma definitely a Sam Bradford, a Baker Mayfield. Texas, you're right. I wouldn't like. We kind of had to reach for the Vince. We had to reach for the Vince and Colt.
They haven't had the guy that just went out there and just you were scared of.
Yeah,
right?
like
even with the Oklahoma game this year, like Texas was up and then Oklahoma comes. It's just Texas needs a marquee quarterback because that school is so marketable. If you give them a marquee quarterback, we're going to be so sick of it in a heartbeat. Trust me.
So the other thing I think too to keep in mind, like let's say because the legacy we're kind of going back and forth. I think we're kind of now we're weighing out a legacy. If we scratch that, right, it comes more down to where can I play and who can develop me the best, right? And now that pulls Texas and Florida and LSU as the three runners. If those are the two things that Arch is looking for, right? Florida is definitely now a heavy hand, and now it's going to be who can develop me, right? Because those three schools are going to, or I say a tie, right, for the most part. And now it's going to be who can develop me. And to me, that's going to be LSU and Florida 1-2 and Texas because Texas hasn't produced any, like we said, they didn't have anybody from the draft last year, right? Brian Kelly, he has a good track record. Billy is too new, so that's why this year is huge for Billy Napier. So, look, it's not as – look, and we said LSU was kind of my –
Sarkisian in Texas is no pushover.
But so he doesn't have – so maybe he's in the same boat as Billy of like, look, he hasn't – in the position he is, he hasn't proven, right? And neither has Brian out of LSU. So all three of those schools haven't really proven themselves as like, hey, we can produce something for you. So Georgia kind of makes a play again because, look, he could be the guy to play now, and Kirby has proven to make some studs. So Georgia might be back in the argument. I don't know. It's fun to talk about. It's going to be something. It's going to be something we keep going round and round about all day. But before we move into our next topic, people are blowing up here for a minute, and I saw somebody say something really quick.
Scared money don't make money,
Gator Gang 2022. I saw it. I never missed it. We just got double likes for that. Let's go, baby. Scary money don't make money. If you're brand new to the show, welcome. Subscribe. Turn on the bell. We're live every Wednesday at 8:35. Drop a like. Also, too, I'm wearing makeup because I lost a bet to Steve. Just in case. I don't want you guys to get weirded out. Honestly, we keep getting more viewers and nobody's leaving, so maybe it's a new thing, and I'll look cute every Wednesday night. I don't care. Whatever you guys need from me, I'm here for, big dog. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
Real quick, we got to go in this real quick because everyone's getting hyped up.
I know. They're pumped. My gosh, you guys are going 100 miles a minute. We can't even keep up with you right now.
Muddy says Arch coming to Florida would be like Jameis Winston's son going to Florida. It's just weird. It is weird. I agree.
Yeah.
Andrew Apple says Texas would call those guys legacy. I agree. So he was agreeing with me with the Colt McCoy and the Vince Young. Manning is Texas bound. I can't see him in Gainesville. Not even sure we take a quarterback. Personally, I'd rather BDB get a top quarterback. Billy Napier. I think BDB get a top quarterback next year.
Connor loves an amazing mullet. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're talking about Quinn Ewers. Because they say, why would he go with Quinn Ewers? And look, that was my argument, right? Because why would he go to Texas when they have Quinn Ewers, who I have been pretty high on of being like that's the kid who's going to be the next Colt McCoy. He had a perfect what's it called, recruiting sheet, which hasn't been done, I think, either ever or maybe Colt was the last one to do it. I don't remember what I said in the video that we made. But yeah, that's my thing too. Is like, look, Texas at least as of now has a guy. And if you're going to commit within the next 6 months, Quinn Ewers right now is the guy.
The guy just transfers again. It's not like he sits out a game.
That's true.
Daniel Rivera, he'd be stupid to go to Georgia. Okay, Daniel.
Steve Sarsky and Ewers is godlike at practice. So, look, I've been hearing good things, too. I've heard good things with how he's been managing the locker room. He did not have a good orange and white game or whatever they're called. I did watch a little bit of that. It wasn't the best, but again, it's new. I'm not too concerned about it. He looked better than Jack Miller, that's for sure. But Xavier says, what are y'all talking about? Vince Young beat USC with Reggie Bush and company. Texas has a legacy quarterback in Texas. Okay, I was right. I'm glad I was right. Thank you.
Reggie Bush was in college when this happened. Reggie Bush was in college. He's retired.
Thank you.
And so was Matt Leinart.
Johnny says, scared money don't make money. We'll hit it again.
Scared money don't make money, you know.
Oh, people, don't do this all night. Every time you do this, we have to pay 38 cents to the University of Florida
no, we don't.
And the Billy Napier Foundation. Like, you're just draining us here, people.
Xavier also says, I don't think he's coming to Florida, but we'll see. Also, I'm not sold on him being a legacy quarterback in college. Look, and that's something we've talked about too. I'm not completely sold, but here's the thing. To pull off Arch Manning when he's the number one recruit would be massive for recruiting. I think that's what we're missing out, guys, right? Like it's the fact that Billy can come in his first year and pull this off.
But that's also the thing. Let's think about that. So oh my gosh.
Sorry,
so if the big win here isn't the recruit and the notoriety of the recruit, you don't need the recruit. You don't really need the guy. Like, you got your guy. What you want here is the recruiting win for the ability to say that you got the recruiting win. The talent on the field isn't going to be there. So I don't know. That's why we talk about it. He's an 18-year-old kid. It's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing goes down.
It's going to be fun. We love it. Look, we're going to be here all we're not going anywhere, guys. So we're going to be talking about it probably every other week until he signs. He actually came out, he had an interview, and they asked him, hey, where do you think you're going? He's like, honestly, I have no idea. Like, I don't think he even has a clue, to be honest with you. I mean, there's, like I said, it's a tough decision. It's going to be a tough decision for him. I'm glad it's not me. I wish it was me, but not really.
Well, I wish it was me. Yeah.
I wish it was me. Yeah, I'm just
doing
kidding.
This wrong.
All right, let's move on a little bit. Real quick, let's give Connor this. Way too early prediction to win the PGA Championship next week. Dark horse. Gosh, that's you caught me off guard on that one, Connor. Dark horse to win the PGA Championship next week. Victor Hovland. It's my dark horse.
Oof.
Mark the calendar, boys. Mark the calendar. I like the kid.
I'm going with my FSU guy. He'll be there.
Brooks a bum. We had this conversation today. Don't make me do this again, Steve. I can't stand that guy.
You're fired up.
My extra
Kepka's got it.
My extra dark horse is going to be Joel Damon, Johnny Cold Cuts Damon, because that's my guy. I'm always going to pick him. Zach Whitfield, what's up, baby? Welcome to the show, man.
Welcome to it, baby. Let's go.
Dang, Gator Gang, and congrats on the Braves still being hot garbage. Well, Gator Gang, like that was a little, that's your introduction to the cast? Like that was a little aggressive. Like, I don't know where that's coming from. That's coming from a place of hate. And look, I don't appreciate it, okay? We're World Series champs, so you can kick rocks. Look, last year this time we were 14-16. Not quite sure if you remember how that ended.
Oh boy. Oh,
Ring.
Gator Gang.
It's early,
Gator
baby.
Gang.
It's early, baby. Ain't nothing but a thing, baby. Ain't nothing but a
That's what
thing.
you've done.
Ain't nothing but a thing. All right, let's get into it. Where we at? Where does Florida rank? Where does Florida rank? Florida right now is ranked 51st or 55th, I think, out of 131 football teams for this upcoming season. Here's why I wanted to bring this up. I love it. So, I being a Gator fan, I don't know what it is, but the rankings to me have always been a wash. It means absolutely nothing. All it does is put a ton of pressure on these kids. It sells TV, it's ratings, it's all of the above, right? It means absolutely nothing. But when you're not ranked and you feel like you should be ranked, that's when it means something.
Oh, that's when you get fired up, baby.
Right? So not that I'm thinking we should be ranked by any stretch of the imagination, but I think when you go to Florida, you feel like you should always come in every single year. As a Florida fan, I feel like we should show up every year being ranked. And so when we're not ranked, if I'm Billy, I'm like, look, it's disrespectful. Now, and that's not really, we were 6-6 last year, but we're a good team. Nobody's going to be expecting us. Right? Nobody's going to be ready to see what's happening because we're not going to have a little number next to our name. So I love being not ranked. If we go and beat Utah, we better stay unranked. I want to stay unranked for at least the first 3 games until we're 3-0. At that point, then we can put maybe look a little 2-4 next to us. But I love being the underdogs, especially when it comes to Gator football. To me, it riles me up. Absolutely riles me up because I know that the ranking means absolutely nothing, especially in the first 4 or 5 games, because it's just a bunch of just old dudes who get together and think that they know everything about college football and say, here's who's in first place. It has absolutely zero meaning. Zero at all. So I love it. I'm excited about it. I think it's great. I think it's great for this team coming out, a little chip on the shoulder, a little motivation, a little fire me up. Here for it.
Look, I don't even think that these preseason rankings even go through the AP. I think they're just some like you said, some chuckleheads like us that are sitting back and like, that team, I live in Nebraska. I haven't heard of Florida being good for a while, so they're somewhere around the 50s. Yeah, you have no idea the talent. You have no idea what we've lost, what we haven't. It's same with FSU. FSU is ranked 57th, and we were 5-7. 57th is a gift of a ranking, considering that we haven't won a significant game. But the preseason rankings at this point, especially when you haven't even gotten into the spring, you don't know what kind of injuries you're dealing with your starting roster. They're a little bit funny, but my gosh, what else do you want? You want something that you just want your team to wrap their arms around and just fight against it the entire time. Look,
exactly.
It's all you want to know is, do you have the shot to get into the top 25, the top 15, the top 10? And then you start looking at your schedule and you say, you know what, we can beat that guy, and we can beat that guy, and we can beat those guys. And then you just think, you know what, there's no reason that we can't be a top 10, top 5 school. And that's everyone's ambition going in. So when somebody puts you at the 57th team like Florida State, when somebody puts you at the 50th team or 55th team like Florida, absolutely put that on the wall, baby. Put it on the wall, tattoo it on my back. Remind me every single day that we're going to go and we're going to beat it. That's right.
Yep.
And then that day when you get that ring, when you win your conference, when you win that natty, when you have that trophy in your hand, whether it's the Lombardi, whether it's the Heisman, whether it's the Walter Camp, you can say, remember that time that y'all said we were going to be the 50th best team, the 57th best team? It is the absolute best thing in the world to be underranked going in as a college football team. You love it.
There's 2 spots I like to be in. right? It's this where you're completely underrated. You're under the radar, right? It's like coming in at 44 and 44 at the halfway mark and then winning the World Series, right? Nobody sees it coming. It's like Rich Strike, which we're going to get into a little bit later, 80-1 odds, right? Like that kind of thing. But then there's also the flip side, which I do enjoy, which is when you come out the 1 seed, right? I love that. Here's why
you're good, baby.
Because now
the stable's strong.
yeah, now it's a different type of motivation. Hey, we are the best, right?
Hold it.
I expect you to be the best. I plan to be the best. Everyone's coming out to step on your head. Good. We're gonna step on theirs even harder, right? So there's a flip side to that. Anywhere in between, complete waste of time. And I think that's why some of those guys get kind of lost in the wash because it's like, well, shit, we're number 9, we're number 8, right? It's cool. No, I either want to be, you don't even know who I am, or I'm stepping on your throat. Those are the 2 spots that I think that you thrive the best on, and that's kind of where Florida's sitting right now. Now, to be fair, I did see today that we are ranked we're favored by 1.5 points against Utah, which, look, the only reason I'm thinking that is because I think the hype behind AR-15 is starting to warm up a little bit. Because why else would that be a thing? Where is that coming from? Utah was good last year. We were 6-6.
Yeah,
we have a new football coach, a new quarterback. Where is this coming from? I'm lost. I'm completely lost on that.
Finally, all the people who are the sports writers in South Florida, the South in general, finally just got off vacation and started writing their own articles, and it kind of pulled the narrative up a little bit. There's no other explanation. Like, look, I don't think that Florida is the 50th team in the country. I do believe
we
that
appreciate
Utah
that, Steve.
Yes, and Utah is up against a pretty formidable team with Florida, even with all the changes, the coach, the quarterback transition, transfers that you guys have had in and out, and some folks that are trying to learn a new offense. Utah, don't get me wrong, I think they're a good team, but I don't think talent-wise they're better than UF right now.
We appreciate that, Steve. Anybody that is new here, welcome. Make sure you subscribe, turn the bell on, drop a like. If you're wondering why I'm wearing makeup, it's a great question. I want to make sure that we kind of take a minute every few minutes just to let you guys know. I lost a bet to Steve, okay? We did a little NFL draft pick, who had the most right. Steve pulled it off the last second and beat me, and here we are, and I look adorable. So just want to make sure you guys are aware so nobody gets scared off if you haven't already. Just a little tidbit for you.
This is too fun.
We got to let them know what's going on. Let's see, before we go to the next topic, we will chomp on Utah, Zach says. Love it. Florida, Muddy says, Florida better beat Utah. One of my buddies played it for Utah 2 years ago. I used to live there, and most of my friends went to Utah. Utah is a beautiful place. It is absolutely incredible. Salt Lake is wonderful. Connor says, I'll put my 401k on the Gators. Gonna roll Utah. Let's go, baby. I love it. I love it.
So all $17. All right, great. I like where your head's at, Connor.
Oh, Daniel's getting saucy. AR-15 is trash last year, completed 40% of his passes, never won a game, and how many picks does he have? I'm not even going to entertain that, Daniel. I'm not going to. I'm not even going to entertain. Did FSU get a kicker yet? Gator Gang wants to know.
Oh, FSU's had a kicker. It's just they're not good. They can find kickers. I mean, we got a soccer team right down on the other side of Pensacola. Like, we're good. They're not going to hit a kick.
They're not going to be in field goal range. Let's get into something that's going to spice up a lot of people in here. Daniel's going to love it. I'm bold prediction here. Okay, Daniel Riviera is going to be a big fan of this. The rest of us can be a little spicy. Again, this is a good build-up from what we just went over about having a chip on our shoulder. What was the Twitter page? Do you remember? Boomer Bust or
Boomer Bust, I believe is what it was.
Boomer Gang.
Boomer Gang, yeah, that was it.
They tweeted out this Boomer Game, a big game Boomer. We don't know what their affiliation is, but they have some good stuff. Yep. There you go. Oh, Ricky, a little super chat donation, $1.99. Nice makeup. Appreciate it. Look, we ran out some makeup, so for next week, we're going to definitely need some more. So thank you, Ricky, for the $2 donation. We appreciate that, man. $1.99. Cheap ass. Couldn't give us an extra cent. Appreciate it, Rick.
Well, it's for tax write-off purposes, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So real quick, they tweeted this out. The top 40 projected blowouts in this college football season. Okay, this is what they projected. Number 1 was Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Cool. Here's where we're gonna get pissed as Gator fans, and where I got riled up. Okay, the number 8.
This made no sense. Yeah, but go ahead.
The number 8th ranked game was Tennessee blowing out Florida. Okay, in what world? The second game, the next game, 15th ranked game was LSU blowing out Florida. The 20th game was Georgia blowing out Florida. The 23rd game was A&M blowing out Florida. The 27th game, South Carolina blowing out Florida. And
South Carolina?
Yeah.
You beat them by like 12 points last year. It was a
slugfest. We lost. And they had Spencer Rattler.
Oh.
And then the 37th game, the 37th ranked out of the 40, FSU blowing out Florida.
Yes, this thing is completely accurate.
Like this is to me, this is a little absurd. Okay, I'm a little shocked by this. Tennessee blowing out Florida. Not quite sure where that's coming from. That seems a little bit of a stretch. LSU, who had the same record as us with the new coach. I don't know who they have at quarterback. That seems crazy to me. I know that on AR-15, next Heisman winner, a.k.a. top 5 round draft pick. I know that for a fact. Georgia, okay, look, I'm not going to argue.
But not even a blowout. Look, if you look at the last game, it was a 3-point game until 3 crazy turnovers turned into 21 points in the last 60 seconds of the half. Like that game was super close up until that point.
Yeah, no, Gator Gang, it's not an ESPN thing. It's a Big Gamer Boomer. That's their Twitter page. If you guys want to go on there and roast them, by all means, let them know what's up. Let them know the High Top Sports is here. The fan base is loud and proud. We gonna let them have some smoke. The South Carolina blowing us out. I guess they're that high on Spencer Rattler. I don't know where that's coming from. A&M. I mean, Jimbo's good. They're good, but they blow out Florida good?
Blowout, no. I mean, Jimbo just has Florida's number. It's a weird thing. I hate it. Like, I hate the fact that I don't want to ever root for Jimbo, but he just, for some reason, has Florida's number and just with crap talent seems to come away with a win against you guys.
And the one that, I mean, obviously you love this, but Florida State?
I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, I was like, Steve, you can't sit here and tell me, yeah, that makes sense. Like, what?
No.
There's no way. Like, this seems a little outstretched. They have a big following. I mean, obviously, maybe we should start making stuff up if we want a big following too. Yeah, I'm calling you out, Big Game Boomer. What's up? Well, you guys are just making stuff up. You just hoping it sticks? Well, guess what? All right, we're fired up about it. All right? It was stupid, but we're fired up. We have another tweet from him we're going to go over here in just a minute, but I wanted to roast him on this one first.
I'm not looking forward to FSU's defense trying to contain Athony Richardson at all.
Hold on. We have our first... I love this. I want to be all involved with this. Fishing football. Daniel said, I'll bet anyone that Florida is a 5-7 season. Fishing football said, Daniel, throw it down. Daniel, you've been talking all the smack. I want to see this happen. You guys better figure this out. I want a Cash App. I want a Venmo. I want to be involved with this. All right? Ooh. I'll put a wager in. Whoever's right, we'll bring on the show. If you guys want to settle this like men, you guys put the money down. Look, it's got to be at least $10 for there to be some blood. Maybe make it 20. It's got to be at least 20 for there to be some little skin like you're feeling. Can't be $1. It's got to be realistic. You guys figure that out. Email us. Okay, there's an email too. I put in the comments earlier that we're going to work on doing a Gator trivia. If you guys want to be involved in the Gator trivia that we're going to have at the end of the show, we're going to try to do maybe every now and then. Email us. There's an email. The first comment that I posted. I will post it again right now while we're in the heat of it. This is the email. Okay.
Oh boy, 5-7. That is it's
aggressive, right?
We got Bork willing to go $100.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Gator Gang says he'll take that bet. Look, let's get this going. You guys, if we make this happen, whoever makes this bet happen, let's shoot me an email. If you want to be part of the Gator trivia, you think you know what you're doing, right? Also shoot me an email, said, hey, I want to be on. That's how we'll be able to send you guys a link. Let's see what happens. Daniel says, no, I don't hide. I call the Gators losing their last 45 games last year, and they last 4 to 5, I'm assuming. Daniel said $100.
He's in.
Daniel, you better reach out to Ryan Bork, and y'all better figure this out.
Hold on. Here's what we do. The contribution. Okay, so the money goes in. The contribution goes to the booster club of the
opposing
the
team.
The fans pick. Right. So like whoever wins, the money if it's Daniel Rivera, he
Gator
can pick
Gang
where
said
it goes.
$250.
Let's go! My goodness,
this is unbelievable.
YouTube's gonna turn us off for
fishing football. You're gonna lose a lot of money there.
Oh boy.
Easy J Dub getting lit up in here. It is getting wild right now. This is absolutely just hey Daniel. Oh wait.
Scared money don't make money, you know.
Come on, Daniel. You better make it happen. I don't want to all hear all this barking. Pun intended. Okay,
That's
Georgia.
what you did there.
Yeah, you better bite, big dog. Daniel, you've been back at it again. They calling you out, big dog. Let's get it.
Yeah,
Woo!
The problem for all the Gator fans here is that if like Daniel says I'm willing to bet 200, and he's got like 17 people willing to bet 200, you guys are going to get like $1.08. And then yes, and then dude, if Daniel Rivera wins this thing,
Ryan makes a good point. We need to put this money somewhere.
Gotta put the money somewhere.
So look, maybe look if you like. I can be the guy who puts it all together. Right? Everyone puts all this money in and we just disappear. I don't know.
Give it to the FSU guy. I got no dog in this fight.
That is true. That is true.
I'll set it up. You guys fight it out.
We got to figure this out how we can make this work because I love this. This is what I'm here for. All right, we got one more. Oh, somebody sent me. Oh, Andrew. Oh, I got an email. That's what I'm talking about. Andrew Phoner said, send me the Cash App and I'll send the money. I bet Daniel won't do the same. Let's go. Email is in the books, Daniel, from Andrew. I hope I'm saying your last name right, Bubba, but it's Phoner.
I'm sure it's Gator Gang.
It's got to be fishing football. It's got to be.
All right.
If I'm guessing.
My gosh, you guys with the y'all have. Like,
oh wait, no, it's Gator Gang. It's Gator Gang. Just sent y'all an email. That's Andrew. Yeah. Let's go, baby.
Daniel is living rent free in y'all's heads right now.
Daniel says, hey, I will. Daniel, you email me. I'll give you guys both my Cash App. Okay. So if anything were to happen, I'll just Cash App both of you back for whatever reason. But both of you guys Cash App me whatever we decide on, and let's make this happen. I'm here for it, baby. This is what we live for. If you're brand new here, make sure you like it. Brandon Curry, you're dead. We're dead. This is what we're doing here. Okay, this is what we're doing here. This is the new show. So welcome.
I could only see Ryan Bork listening to the cast, like he
kind of like half listening.
But he was like, "What did I just
wait? Hold up.
Did I just
hold on? Pause this shit."
Right now.
Oh man. All right. Let's go. This is too good. I'm sweating over here. I'm hot, baby. Man. I'm hot. All right. The next tweet that these big game boomers tweeted out were the top 25 teams, the top 25 least likely to make a bowl game. Okay? Number 1, Vanderbilt. Respectable.
Can't take that away. Yep. Attaboys.
Great answer. Next one, Kansas. Great answer. Next one.
Do we have a button for that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell if that was us or
Duke, Northwestern, Colorado, Indiana, Washington, Illinois, Georgia Tech, Syracuse. Top 10. Great answers. Number 11, the Florida Gators. I don't understand where the hate's coming from, Big Game Boomer, but if y'all want to get rowdy, we're more likely to have you on and see where this is coming from because it seems like it's hostile at this point.
This has to be a national championship fallout. Didn't you guys clown them in the national championship one year? Because
we're thinking they're an Oklahoma fan base. That's where we're kind of we did our research. That's what we were pulling from, right, Steve?
Yeah.
I think they're still a little upset on the big hits on the Modown.
I hate Oklahoma too because of
who likes Oklahoma besides Oklahoma, Steve? Lincoln Riley didn't like Oklahoma.
I don't know anybody who likes Oklahoma.
That's my point, Steve. That's
Texas, hate them. LSU, hate them. Arkansas, hate them. Missouri, hate them. Nebraska, hate them. Colorado, hate them. That's all.
But hey, Florida State's 20th. So you guys, well, based on their numbers here, are more likely. Here's who they have more likely to make a bowl game than Florida. You ready for this? Rutgers.
Go ahead.
Rutgers, TCU, Maryland, Arizona, who won like 2 games last year. I think maybe 1. Then they have Auburn, which I'm okay with. Nebraska, who I did say was the worst, best team of all time last year, who was like 3 and like whatever.
They couldn't pull anything together in the fourth quarter to save their life.
Yeah, this is absurd to me. I don't think we've missed a bowl game in like forever? It's been a while. Like that's why the Florida State game was so big for Florida, because it's been so long since they missed a bowl game.
Florida?
It's been a while. When's the last time, Steve?
No.
We don't miss
4 years ago.
That's a long time, Steve.
That's a losing record.
That's an entire president's term. That's a long time. I think it's been longer than that.
Gosh, I wish.
Hey, Daniel. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to this really quick. Daniel says, I have money. Please, I'll throw down. Hey, Daniel, Gator Gang has emailed me. It's the ball is in your court, Daniel. No more in the comments. I need an email. We will figure this through like men, like gentlemen. That's all, folks.
Right, there it is. What's the email? He wants the email. Zach Whitfield, I have no hate. This is a loving rivalry. I have never once gotten mad at Shelton when FSU lost to Florida. I have never once said anything out of order or been anything short of.
He's lying. He is lying. Steve handles himself very well on this show, but when look, honestly, this year when Florida State plays, we're gonna have to get on here right after the fact just so people can see how you really get.
Yeah, boy. We don't need that.
Daniel, there's the email, buddy.
This is a family establishment.
I'm waiting for the email. This is awesome. This is absolutely incredible. So yeah, we'll see. Top 25. I think that's absolutely absurd. Same thing with the 40 blowout. I think this big bang.
They also have North Carolina missing a bowl, Ole Miss missing a bowl. I can see North Carolina, since they're going through a quarterback change, and Ole Miss the same way, but it just feels like those two teams have done well enough in recruiting, decent coaching. It feels like that's a little bit of a miss. I almost want to hold on to this tweet, and then we'll come back to it.
I agree.
It's like one of those things, like, in May, I want to come back to this tweet in June and
just roast
November,
it. Hopefully,
What are the chances I ever remember that?
Put it on the board. Pin it up, because I'm not going to remember it. Pin it up. Daniel, what's your email? I'll email you. I can't. I mean, I don't know if you want to put your email in here and have everyone yelling at you, but I put my email in there, Daniel. So just email me. It's hightopsports2@gmail.com.
Zach, I've never done that. I have always held everyone with the most respect. I have never cursed.
He attacked my college.
I did.
Let's move on to Rattler Rattles. Spencer Rattler's getting a little ballsy, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not going to let him get away with it. Okay, I think the guy's is a bust. I said that last year a little bit. He said it's there. Hold on, before we move on. I don't have it. hightopsports2@gmail. Make sure you got the right spelling. I have an email from Connor to do Gators trivia, so we've got a taker for Gators trivia.
We got our first person.
There we go. Spencer Rattler. I think he's a bum. He's playing for the Gamecocks now, South Carolina, and he said he thinks he's going to do better this year than last year, even though he only lasted like 2.5 games, because it's an easier conference. Okay, hold on. You almost lost to Tulane last year, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? My spot.
Close.
Yeah, Tulane. Now, this got me thinking. Does he have a point? Is he right here? Because Steve hates this. Steve, who do you think is the best conference in football? Because I want to hear you before I go. Let's hear you, Steve.
Oh, I believe it's the SEC.
Oh, do you?
I'm a firm believer it's the SEC.
Now you do. Okay, so
I do. I mean,
top to bottom.
Look, this year might be a little bit. It might be a little bit stressed because you guys have had some coaching transition and some quarterback transition. But I think that top to bottom, they've been the best. Now, the Big Ten is not bad. It's not a bad football conference. It's just a weird conference. It's like, everybody scores 56 points a game.
Do you want the Big Ten or the Big 12?
The Big 12. Yeah,
Yeah.
Big 12. Sorry.
Okay. Yes, the Big 12.
It's the Big
okay.
12 that has 8 teams now, or whatever.
10 teams. But yeah, it is weird. That was so. Look, I looked at the Big 10. The Big 10. The problem with the Big 10 is that their bottom is just so bad that you can't consider them. I mean, it's like the bottom is like why are you even there, right? So that is why I kind of took them out of it. I was really comparing them to the Big 12 because top to bottom, the Big 12 isn't horrible, but when you take the top SEC versus the top Big 12, it's not even close. And then even when you look at the middle,
Kansas, Texas Tech, TCU. I mean, you had, my gosh, you had 4 teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams in the Big 12 that couldn't win more than 4 games in their own conference. That's top heavy as you can get.
Yeah, that's my point. So when he came out and said that, I was like, am I missing something here? Now, does South Carolina have an easier schedule? I don't know. Maybe that's what he was looking at. Uh-oh. Zach emailed me. Daniel sucks and a chicken. Everyone, I'm getting emails from everyone but Daniel. Hopefully we didn't scare Daniel off. We love you, Daniel. We love the shit talking.
We love you, Daniel.
Don't
this
leave
is
us.
your home. Don't.
But I think Spindler's a little bit out of his cage here. I think he likes to get his Rattler going. I think he's overrated. I don't think. I'm full of him tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's the dad in me.
I love him.
It's starting to come out. I'm in training. Dad in training. So yeah, I think I'm not a big fan of Spencer Rattler. I think he's overrated. I think he was a little far stretched when he said this conference is easier. And to me, when you came out and said, I think I'm going to do better because the competition's easier. Because you agreed that you're not that good and that you sucked because the competition was harder last year. Like, what's your point here? Like, you're losing on all accounts here. If I'm from the outside looking in.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? I mean, so it's just the bottom of the Big 12 is the bottom of what would be the bottom of every conference, including the ACC, who had an awful year. It's just I just don't see where he's coming from with that. And when I look at Oklahoma, their performance this year, I mean, it was not good. There is nothing that you can say for Spencer Rattler that would have boded you to think that he's going to come in and just be this quarterback that he was. He had a couple of years, or he had a good year, but again, he was one of those guys who had a lot of talent around him. He used his athletic ability to make plays, and then the other players around him kind of finished things off. And then when he didn't have those players anymore, when those wide receivers went to the NFL, when they transferred, when he lost offensive linemen to the NFL and they transferred, when the defense wasn't able to hold teams to, under 28 points and they had to outscore everything, it was not a good mix for him. So I don't know if going
but for the fact that Caleb Williams came in and did a good job with the team that you just mentioned, what did I tell you? That
and he didn't play poorly. Yeah, I think again, it's going back to a quarterback that is relying more on his athletic ability than his ability to run the offense. And athletic ability and ability to run the offense, 2 different things. Can you read a defense? Can you audible properly? And those are the things that are going to make the difference. And he just wasn't able to do it. He just looked uncomfortable most of the time. And
the only reason Spencer,
I don't see him.
Good.
The only reason I was just saying, I just don't see that transition being quick.
The only reason Spencer Rattler is because of Netflix. He had his TV show of like the top QBU or whatever on Netflix, and it got him recognition and people in a recognizable face. And to me, I feel like that helped push the brand. And it's like, hey, we want to watch this kid, so he's gonna have more chances and extra opportunities simply because he built this brand early on, and the hype behind him, almost like an Arch to an extent, right? Where Arch is going to get a lot more handouts and a lot more second chances than your average 4 or 5 star quarterback because of the publicity and brand that came behind it. To me, that's Spencer Rattler. I've never been sold on him. I'm still not sold on him. I don't think I will be sold on him. I'm typically, as a Florida fan, the South Carolina games are complete, like it's not exciting. to me, I am more excited for that game than most because I just want to smash that kid. I can't wait. Like, not like on a personal level. Look, I love the kids playing football. I'm not trying to roast on any kid here, but I'm ready to roast this kid. I'm excited to play South Carolina when typically it's like whatever of a game.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Look, there's been I miss the South Carolina with the Steven Garcia and gosh, who was the running back they had that was just the beast of a guy. He was like almost like a Leonard Fournette style kid. They played in the Peach Bowl against FSU. I remember him. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. These guys will probably remember. But Steven Garcia, like the drunk quarterback that they had, he was great. They had a couple of guys from.
I will
say
Spitzer's probably one of the most exciting quarterbacks since Garcia
that they've had in a while. Yeah, because they get these like 2-star guys and that's just kind of been what they've had to live with. So it'll be fun. At the end of the day, it'll be fun to root against somebody.
Sure. Real quick, let's before we get into the next topic here, we have an email. Daniel has sent the emails, ladies and gentlemen. So let's back down the hounds, okay? Everyone step back for a minute. Thank you for the like, whoever just did it. Keep the likes coming. We appreciate them. Let us know we're doing a good job. But let's bring down the hounds. Daniel has sent an email, okay? Night, Mama. Love you.
Night, Mom.
I emailed him back. I said, how much does he want to do? Andrew was the first to send me an email. So right now I'm setting up the bet between Andrew and Daniel. If Daniel's willing to do more, I will. But I'm going to give Andrew first bid because he followed the instructions better than anybody else. So we're waiting on Daniel. This will be an ongoing thing. I will send both. He said $100. Is that true? Right. This is getting exciting. Okay, I got $100 from Daniel. I'm gonna email Andrew right now. He said 100. Are you cool with that?
These comments are great right now. Zachary, yes, 100%. Marcus Lattimore, that was the kid. He was great. I loved watching him play. Rattler has a face you want to hit. He really does.
He does. God, he does.
Just a punchable face. And look, you guys have been great. Like this is amazing. We got some skin in the game on this cast tonight. This is gonna be a good college football season. We can't wait. My goodness.
I love it. I'm waiting to hear back. Okay, we'll keep that going. This is exciting. I don't know how excited, how pumped I am to be able to be in the middle of this juice. It's so much fun. All right, so we've got that. Let's move on. This past weekend, the Kentucky Derby happened. I mean, everyone knows about it. You gather around the TV for 2.5 hours for 2 minutes. Hold on.
Oh boy.
Andrew said 250.
I mean, if we keep raising the pot, I don't think it makes any difference. I think it's all Gators versus one dog. I guess maybe if you keep putting money in. Then,
I emailed you back, Daniel. I'll let you know. Let's see what happens. Okay, so back to Rich Strike. So Rich Strike, the Kentucky Derby. We gather on the TV for 2.5 hours for just 2 minutes of glory, and we bet on these horses with these crazy names that we have zero clue about. We put on our big hats. We put on our fancy uniforms. I bet on the Kentucky Derby for the first time this year with one of our coworkers, Tim. He picked all of the horses with the worst odds to win, except Rich Strike. I was like, what are we doing here, bro? We had 40-1, 30-1, 15-1, but we left the 80-1 guy off the board. Do you know the Rich Strike story, Steve? I wonder, at this point, everyone has to know it, no?
I don't. I'll be honest. I mean, I could sit on here on the cast and I could talk to the folks and I could just be like, oh yeah, of course I know. I could be basically Stephen A. Smith and talk out the side of my neck and have absolutely no idea what I'm saying. But I won't do that to these folks. How about you tell me the little story?
So Friday night, Rich Strike was at home in his barn eating some hay, just minding his own business, chilling. Gets a call Friday night. His jockey comes out and says, yo, Rich, we're headed to Kentucky. Saddle up, big dog. We're on the move. They had a scratch. We're coming in. And I was watching, and all the horses go into their little cages. Rich Strike, when he went to go get in, had a hiccup or something and had to come back out and turn around. And I was like, watch that be the horse that wins. Because, like, obviously, like, he was having some issue. Like, he's wired up, right? So I'm like, yo, he's punked. He's fired up. He's ready to rock and roll. I was like, that horse is going to win. This horse, they had this entire thing in the pre-derby that after, like, 3/4 of the race, if you're not 3.5 positions or better, you're not going to win the race. At a half a mile at the race, if you're not 3.2 spots or better, you're not going to win the race, right? At all these marks, Rich Strike was like 9th or 10th or 11th. And then all of a sudden, if you watch the overhead view, it's like a Ferrari, just turns on its jets and just weaves in and out of these horses. It was one of the most magical things I've ever witnessed in my entire life. And then you're seeing it, right? And you're seeing this horse, like, what horse is that? There's a horse coming out of nowhere. And then they're yelling, you're screaming, and you're like, what? I don't have that on my number. I had 2, a racehorse 2. And all you could see that it was 2. My mom went nuts. She's like, that's your horse. Number 2 won. I go, I don't know. That wasn't the name of my horse. Rich Strike for the win. Absolutely incredible. But the reason why we're talking about it, Steve, is because your boy Mike Leach came out and said, Rich Strike is the reason why we need an 8-game playoff. So the 80-1 horse, the aka 80-1 football team, has the opportunity to win. This is why we play the game. This is why odds don't matter. This is why the Dodgers could be the favorite to win every year. I don't care. Braves in 7, okay? Doesn't matter to me, all right? That's why you play the game. You play to win the game, and this is just another reason why we need to expand it. Give your horses, the dark horses, an opportunity to play.
Look, for the first part, like, that horse sat back, didn't understand what the heck that thing that we were putting him in was. Probably didn't really understand a whole lot about why there were so many horses running so fast in front of him. Like, this is weird. And then they realized about 3/4 of the way around this thing, oh, I'm supposed to win. Well, I've got plenty of legs left because I didn't run the other 3 races that they put these horses through. So hold on a second. Let me put the pedal to the metal, I guess, in whatever horse analogy you want to put. But let's take that analogy. Let's take Rich Strike and let's look at college football. Right? So we got a 4-team playoff. The 4-team playoff looked like Bama, UGA, Michigan, and Cincy. It was a relatively unexciting playoff. However, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. You're right. You're good.
But if we were to just push that back just a bit,
give me the last 4,
just to give it the Rich Strike, the richness here, it would have been Baylor,
a good team,
offense,
a good
Ohio
team.
State. Always perpetually in the playoffs. It was weird to see them not there. Oklahoma State, who only lost 1 game, that kind of knocked them out, and then Notre Dame. So that would have been a Notre Dame, Michigan, Oklahoma State, Cincy, Ohio State, Baylor first round, and then winner of OK State, Michigan. Yeah, Notre Dame, Michigan, which is a rematch of a classic game that they don't play anymore because the conference alignments. Notre Dame, Michigan in the playoffs for an elimination with all the history that those 2 teams have. And then you got Oklahoma State, Cincy, both strong offenses. Obviously, it didn't look like that for Cincy against the Bama offense. But then you've got Ohio State and Baylor. I mean, those 6 teams, yeah. I mean, you're talking about that's great football. And then you let Bama and UGA sit back and just kind of play the field and see who they're going to get next. They get an extra week of rest. They obviously came off of one of them at least did came off of a championship game. But my goodness, stretching that thing out to an 8-team field, with the first 2 getting a bye, and then the 6 teams playing alternatively to their seeding, that would have been a beautiful playoff. And
that would have been fun.
Look, now you actually get to find out if Bama and UGA earn their way in, because now you're talking about having to play
an extra game.
Ohio State that sneaks in, right? Or Oklahoma State that could just have one of their 70-point offensive runs, and that would have been fun.
My pitch on it too is you're going to have to they play an extra game, right? Because I'm imagining the 1 plays the 8, the 2 plays the 7, etc. right?
Yep.
So now Bama, the Georgias, they're all playing one more game, which is one more game to see in their playoff form, 1. 2, it's one more game that there's risk of injury. Not that I'm hoping for that, but that's just part of the game.
Part of the
right?
game.
It's just it's like with James Williams going down, like that's part of it, right? And that again, the last scene is that's the way of the road. So all those things just it makes a difference, and I think that again, it needs to happen sooner rather than later. I think the four person team, your favorites are always going to win. And that's kind of, I think, where the Mike Leach compared it to the horse race, because it's just the 4 best horses raced, which is typically how it happens, right? Like the studs usually always win. When you give a guy that has heart and who wants it bad enough, they'll come and get it. And that's why you expand it. And that's why you give everyone opportunity. That's why 20 horses race the race, not just 5, right?
Sure.
So I love it. I was excited about it.
Yeah, and you could easily make the platform of you've got a Power 5 already, right? You've got the Power 5 conferences. So you can say that if you win your conference in the Power 5, you're automatically one of the 5. And then you just pepper in the last 3 based on ranking. And it could be, an Ohio State who loses to a Michigan or something of that nature. So where you just get the creme de la creme of each conference to just go at each other. But that's the thing. You don't get that right now. It's just ranking. You want each one of the conference winners to go and see how they rank against another conference winner. And right now it's not quite like that. Look, it's not horrible, but an 18 playoff would just be just the gift that has been what college football fans have asked for forever. Get rid of the BCS. They got rid of the BCS. Give us a playoff. They got rid of the playoff. Give us an 8 team, and then we're done.
Sure.
I'm sure that every time you say an 8 team, it'd be a 12
12's
team,
too much. Yeah, I think 8 is a good sweet spot for sure.
Yep.
All right, it has been settled. They both agreed on 250. Okay. Daniel says he makes that in 5 minutes. So I got to figure this out because I'm nervous. I'm going to be holding on to a lot of cash if that's what we want to do to have a middleman. I'll talk with both of you guys. I'll email you guys after the show. We'll get it all figured out, and I'll write it down. I'll contract it up. I'll shoot both of you guys kind of an email just so we remember who did what. And this might be one of those just iconic moments for High Top Sports history. And I'm happy that we're here for it. And I'm wearing makeup at the same time.
At the same time. I can't wait for the carnage.
You know what concerns me is we haven't had many comments of like, hey, Shelton, your makeup looks good. And I'm not offended that you guys don't think that I look good because I know I look good. So I'm not looking for a compliment, right? I'm not fishing for a compliment here. I think
they were going to leave you alone about the loss. I think it's more about the loss that they didn't want to bring up to you. Not so much that you don't look good. It's the loss.
I don't think anyone would be holding any punches in that. So I disagree. What concerns me is that I just look normal. And they're just like, yeah, that's just Shelton. He's got his rosy cheeks and lipstick on tonight. Like, it's whatever. Like, that's just a normal Wednesday afternoon. So that's where my feelings are starting to get hurt a little bit. I'm going to be honest. Fish and Football says a few years of having an 8 team and people will be bitching at 12. I agree. We can't keep just going on and on and on. George says that's free money. Gator Gang, look, I think we're all on the same page here. You guys don't want Holly to hold that money. We'll never see it again. We won't hear from him. He'll go on a little rager. Daniel, I love the show. Daniel, we love you, man. We love that you're here rounding it up. We love all you guys. You guys are incredible. Yeah, you guys are incredible. We love the support. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And you guys come here every Wednesday to hang out with us, which we absolutely love. I'm fixing to pass out. Got to work at 3:30 in the morning, but I will reply tomorrow. Y'all have a blessed night, except Daniel. Scared money don't make money. Gator Gang, this is for you, big guy.
Scared money don't make money,
Have a good night, Bubba. Sleep tight. Don't let bed bugs bite.
Zach
you know
Whitfield, Shelton feels pretty, oh so pretty. Yes, he does, baby.
Yes, I do. All right, guys, we have, to me, in my opinion, the most exciting topic of the evening, the last and final topic that it's going to be a fun one. This is a tough one. You guys are going to have a lot of opinions about this, which, when don't you?
We expect.
Here it is. Okay. We ranked what we felt the top 5 best college football helmets. Okay. We don't know what the other person picked. We have some honorable mentions that we both agreed on. We both talked about. But we're going to rank what we feel, in our opinions again, the top 5 football helmets. And we have the reasons why. We did say alternatives don't count. So like an Oregon, right? Like we didn't count them of like, they have like 19 of them.
9,000 different helmets, yeah.
Just so you guys are aware. But Steve, I'm going to let you go first.
All right, how are we going to
Starting
do
with
this?
number 5. Starting with 5.
Number 5? All right.
You can just go your two honorable mentions, just kind of knock them out of the way, and then just go in your top 5. Give us like your
honorable mention number 1. Yep, we'll go honorable mention number 1. Arizona State with the Sun Devil. Look, the colors are weird to me. It's maroon, it's yellow.
That's what kept them off the top 5, right?
Yes, that's exactly what kept him off the top 5.
Sure.
But if you look at the helmet, the size of the logo is big enough to understand that is a devil with a pitchfork, and it just has that cool thing. Like you'll never ever look, we all get hammered watching college football, but if you've ever thrown on a Pac-12 game as you're just kind of fading off and you're calling it a night, as soon as you see that helmet, you don't question at all who it is. There's the devil, the Sun Devil. That's Arizona State.
Steve, it's supposed to be quick. Just make sure you're following the instructions here.
Texas, how do you go wrong? It's burnt orange. It's white. They never really changed the helmet. I'm not a huge fan of the colors. Texas.
Who? Oh,
Texas.
This is gonna be interesting. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. The Texas Longhorns. Look, it's a white helmet. It's a burnt orange. It's a bull that has like just a perfect size logo. Kind of goes out to both sides, so it's not this tiny little thing. Love it. Don't get me wrong. Honorable mention. They're in.
All right, number 5.
Oh boy, UCLA. Look, the UCLA Bruins have the game against the USC Trojans every year. It was one of the first games that was ever televised in color TV because they would both wear their colors. USC wears their colors, UCLA wears their colors, and it was just this clash of no team wears white. But the UCLA, the gold, the baby blue, it's got just the script of UCLA across of it. They play in the Rose Bowl. It's almost just this perfect concoction of when you see that helmet, it's one of my favorites. It's iconic.
I love
it. LSU. You can't miss it. You can't miss it. They're called the Tigers. There's a damn tiger on it. There's an LSU. You see the damn helmet. You have no questions at all, regardless of how cross-eyed you may be. I figured you would. Michigan.
Okay.
The blue and maize. I don't think the damn thing's ever changed. I agree. The damn thing's ever changed. It's just been there the entire time. There's no stickers on it. You don't do shit with it. It's just the helmet is the helmet, and it kind of does. If you've ever actually seen a Wolverine, it does kind of have the same markings as a Wolverine on it. Number 2, Florida State University, baby. Fight for FSU.
Jeez.
Look. The helmet came in with the tomahawk and the spear came in the same time that Bobby Bowden came in. And the fact that Bobby Bowden was so successful with the spear as the helmet when they changed it, it became iconic. If you see the helmet, you know who it is. You don't have any questions. Even if Boston College and FSU are playing against each other, same identical colors for the most part for the jersey, as soon as you see that helmet, you know that's Florida State. Okay. And then I will give the number 1 helmet to Notre Dame.
Wow. Okay.
Notre Dame. And I hate to say it, but that helmet has been iconic in college football as long as you can remember. And there's a real statistic that there is gold flake in the helmet.
Yep.
Real gold flake. And if you've ever seen Notre Dame play in a stadium, it is clear that is real gold because that thing shines. It is the shiniest, and it's not just overall. It just has this glitter to it that is unbelievable. And as soon as you see the Notre Dame gold flake helmet, especially with their blue, their green, when they're playing at home, it's amazing. And the helmet stands out even with the gloomy weather in Indiana. It even makes it look good there. So I'll give Notre Dame number 1. And look, if I had to look at any of those 7 helmets, I always know who they are.
That wasn't a bad top 5, Steve. Well done.
Thanks.
I mean, you're good. Really quick, I don't want to miss this. Daniel Riviera said he's having his first baby, little dog, which I'm a sucker for it. Daniel, we're gonna have little babies. We're gonna have to get the babies on the cast together. When you have yours, I have mine. We'll bring them on together because this is awesome. It must be something in the water because it's running.
Congrats,
it's running rapid.
Daniel, baby. What's up?
Congrats, man. I love it. That's awesome, Bubba. Congrats on being a daddy. All right, that was good, Steve. I didn't like your first two, but the rest of the three I'm okay with. So for honorable mention, I had Wyoming in there. Kind of the same thing with Arizona. They've got the bucking cowboy on there on the Bronco. The color scheme is horrible, which kept them off my top 5. I was debating against them. And look, Steve, this hurt me to say this, but I had FSU as an honorable mention. There's no way in hell they would make my top 5 for obvious reasons. But look, I think things that you said were great, and I love the stickers, and I can respect it.
Thanks.
Moving on to number 5. It's Michigan. I hate Michigan, but like what you said, it's a classic. And honestly, I picked it more so because when you see it, you know what it is. It's not even really like a great looking helmet, but it's just been this. It's had few alterations to it, but it's just you know what it is, and it carries an impact with it, and that's why I respect it. And I was like, it has to be in the top 5. So that was my number 5. Number 4, I picked the Gators, and look, there's obviously a little home bias here. Clearly, orange and blue is a great color combo. I mean, the F, if it was my option, would be the F here, would be 100% be probably even higher. But this Gator helmet, it's clean. It's simple. It gets it done. And you even said precast with the white jerseys, it looks phenomenal. And again, I know that non-Gator people who are going to watch this are going to come roast me and say I'm crazy, but I think that it's a good-looking helmet with a great color scheme. I'm sticking to it.
Especially at home, because the walls of the swamp are painted orange. You've got the orange helmet, the blue script. It pulls everything together. Like to me, the color scheme, the two together, awful. I couldn't stand to look at it every day.
They're pretty nice colors,
but they pull it off well. So I'll give you that.
Appreciate it. Number 3, I had Notre Dame. I agree with you. Look, to me, it's a boring helmet, but it's the history. It's the fact that there's gold in it. You see it, you know who they are, you know what's going on. They have to be, to me, in my top 5. I know, again, you can argue it's not an exciting helmet, but to me, I feel like history and what goes into it and the purpose of it has a meaning to it. So that's why that was my number 3. Number 2, which I'm surprised you didn't have, were the Buckeyes. So the reason why I picked the Buckeyes, it's a very clean silver, kind of like a sparkly silver one. They're red and white. But the Buckeye stickers, and to me, that's part of the helmet. You can't argue like, no, it's just a plain helmet. No, the sticker is just part of the brand. It's part of the helmet, just like FSU. And when they come out with those Buckeyes in the back of their helmet, there's just something about it. Like you said, you see someone come out with a bunch of stickers, like, oh, that's a bad MF right there. Like coming through me. So
damn it.
Yeah, like it just, to me, it says a lot, right? When your helmet speaks volumes like that, that's why it's my top 2. What's funny is my number 1. It's just sexy. Orange is my favorite color. It's clean. You know what it is when you see it. It's Texas. It's a sexy helmet, bro. It is just clean. Ooh. It's perfect. It's like it just encompasses like all the things that I just mentioned, right? It just says it all except the sticker part, but it has the history. It's been around forever. It hasn't really changed too much. It's simple. It's clean. The orange is perfect. Oh, Arkansas was one of another honorable mention. And we mentioned the reason why is because it's kind of small, right? Texas, you know what it is.
It's just big, yeah. It takes up half the helmet.
Speaks volumes. So
yeah, Arkansas, Arkansas, if you really get a look at Arkansas's logo, you can really see that. I mean, that's a hog running. But they keep it so small on the helmet that it took it out of honorable mention, I think, for both of us. We talked about it on the precast, but I mean, if they made that thing just a little bit bigger, so you could just like kind of celebrate the logo a little bit better,
Arkansas have a little run.
Down for it. Yeah,
Arkansas have a little run. George says let's see what everyone says. George says the Gators have the best helmets and uniforms in the stadium and fans and university and football team. Well, look, I can't disagree with you there, George. Can't disagree.
I mean, George, I feel like you might have a little bit of a bias, but I appreciate your insight. Thank you.
North Florida Cowboy said Memphis Tiger helmets and colors.
That's what like
Muddy,
silver and blue.
Muddy said Coastal Carolina was number 5. North Carolina and they have cool helmets. North Carolina State was number 4. They also have cool helmets.
Yeah, with the wolf with the old school like kind of toboggan up there on his head.
Yeah, I agree with that. Wyoming number 3.
Don't dislike
Rutgers number 2.
With the R, I mean, I like the size of the R. Don't get me wrong, but
Nah. Kansas number 1. It's just Kansas isn't like a fun school. That's why I couldn't put them up there. But I mean, they got the Jayhawk, which is kind of cool.
yeah, rock chalk.
Hold on. Andrew says, y'all keep praying for my baby boy who's due to come at the end of June. He has a heart condition, hole in his heart, going to need open heart surgery a couple days after birth. Man, we will definitely pray for you, boss. Please keep us updated. Yeah, that's coming up.
Keep us in the loop. Be here with us. Let us know, man. Hope everything goes well.
Yeah, man. Muddy says Texas Tech helmet is pretty sick. Michael Crabtree rocked it. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Look, it gets tough, man. It really does. Like I was looking at it, and I was like, you can make an argument for really literally any of these teams. Just LSU, besides LSU, that was a horrible pick, Steve. Probably the worst pick you've ever had.
It's just easy. Look, the
like
one thing I didn't put in there was Georgia. Thank you. Was Georgia because it's every time I see it, I'm like, it's just a red and black Green Bay.
So a lot of people had Miami in their top 5.
I was close, but I couldn't. It's the white with the U.
The orange and the green is just hideous.
Yeah,
I think it's ugly. But that's,
I mean, I thought about Clemson too because you see the paw and nobody else has it. So
that's true.
The paw's big, right? It's easily identifiable. So
this is true.
But
the Duck have awesome uniforms. Yes, the Oregon Duck as a whole, as an organization, do. They have some cool uniforms. Ladies and gentlemen, it was an incredible fun show. You guys coming out here every Wednesday night to hang out with us just makes it a blast. So we appreciate you guys for coming on, talking shit, creating what could be the greatest moment in high top sports history with Daniel and Andrew, Gator Gang. So I will be working that out. We will maybe have some details next time on where we're at with that. But you guys have a great week. We have an awesome weekend coming up. We are going to be working out with Lorenzo Lingard. So stay tuned for that video. It's going to be a banger. We got some good stuff coming up. We're going to keep working, keep trying to pump out some cool content for you guys. So make sure you guys like and subscribe as always. We go live every Wednesday at 8:35. And until next time, I'm Sheldon.
And I'm Hawley.
Boogity, boogity, boogity.
Let's go, baby. Love you guys.
Turn this life into something that you can never run.